y'all, this is Lauren from One Nana Two Girls, and we are bringing you our 5th Flosstube, and this is actually our first tutorial, and we're going to be showing you how to make a beautiful Christmas ornament, just like this one. And we look forward to hearing from you. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment below. We are actually finishing a mini Merry surprise from Prairie Schooler. And this cute little Santa here is all ready to go, stitched on the 14 count Ada Sage Summer Khaki from Witchell. As you can see, we've placed 4 pins on all 4 sides of our Santa, and we place them for this particular ornament. We're placing them 5/8 away from the edging of the Santa. And we're doing that so that when you finish your ornament, you have a nice frame around the design before you get to your beautiful cording. So we've placed 4 pins all the way around, 5/8 away from the design. That shows us how much we need to measure from one pin to the next to cut our mat board to place underneath that we're going to mount him on. That's why we place the 4 pins. And we measure here from one pin down to the next. And if you're a little bit close to the next measurement, we always suggest going 1/8 inch less than your measurement. So from the top to the bottom is 4 1/4. So we would say that's 4 1/8 to cut our board. And from side to side is 3 1/2. And we would say that's 3 3/8. And we leave that extra 1/8 inch off due to the 2 layers of the warm and natural batting that we're going to mount to the mat board that will be underneath the ornament. So we keep track of our measurements actually in a notebook, and you can see here, this is the Santa with the lantern, and this is the one that we showed in our Flosstube number 4 that was altered a little bit. This is the Santa with the snowballs in his bucket. So we make note of how much we need to cut how big we need to cut the stitch board for the piece that we're working on. So for this Santa, we've cut our board already, 3 3/8 by 4 1/8. Again, allowing that smaller size, 1/8 of an inch less than your measurement that you took here for the warm and natural quilt batting. So for the mat board, I wanted to show you, we are using the Canson brand Bristol board. It is acid-free, lignin-free, and this is the back of it. I just wanted to show you the tag is available from Hobby Lobby. And this is the front, a very crisp white, very strong board. You can see how thick it is. And we use this Canson board for all of our finishing products. So the boards and flat fold and ornament finishes that you see in our Etsy store are all using this really strong, excellent quality, acid-free, safe for your stitch Canson board, Bristol board. So you cut it down to size, and you have 2 pieces, one for the front and one for the back. On the front piece, you're going to take some warm and natural batting that you see here, and you are going to use the Aleene's Tacky Spray. Aleene's Tacky Spray. And I always use a spray box. I call it a spray box. So I just get one of these boxes that you can find at Sam's Club or Costco in their little box bin. And I take the Aleene's, shake it up good, and I just spray this a little bit with the Aleene's. You can see the glue sprayed on there. And I take the Warm and Natural and I place the board on there, turn it over, give it a good press. We use the Olfa rotary cutter to cut our mat board and to also trim off the Warm and Natural batting from around your piece. Sometimes you get a little piece that doesn't cut off there. Trim that off with your rotary cutter. If you don't have a rotary cutter, they are inexpensive purchase to get from your Joann's or Hobby Lobby or Michael's local craft store. And you can see how beautiful that cuts on there. For the fronts of our ornaments, we always add 2 layers of the Warm and Natural or the Warm and White, depending on the fabric that your cross-stitch piece is on. If it's on a white fabric or an antique linen fabric, you would really like to use the Warm and White. For the second layer, again, place it in your spray box and just spritz it lightly with the Aleene's Tacky Spray. Remove your spray box. Again, place your Warm and Natural over top. Turn over. And again, trim with your rotary cutter. If this is your first time and you do not have a rotary cutter, just use your scissors. You could probably use an X-Acto knife. I've never used an X-Acto knife on fabric or Warm and Natural, so I can't guarantee your results. But as you can see with the Olfa cutter, there's just a little piece there. You get a very clean edge around your piece with those 2 layers of the Warm and Natural batting. If you have a little fuzzy or 2, just remove, and you can see why I go with the 1/8 inch, we go with the 1/8 inch less on the board, because this Warm and Natural batting, 2 layers, does take up that extra 1/8 of an inch when you're finishing your project. So now we have our topper and we have our Santa, or your finished piece. And if you take your board and center it between the pins that you've put in on the back, you can see my little pins there around, and you turn him over and you make sure that he is centered. I always take my edges and fold over, so I'm a little further to the top. So I'm going to adjust and then double check my sides again. If you take the time to do this, your ornament is going to be straight. So we make sure our pins are the exact number of spaces away, that 5/8 inch, and then we count out how many holes we need to put our pins so that we're even on all 4 sides. We don't just use the measure. So once you have that, you can take your small OmniGrid 6-inch ruler and you are welcome to guesstimate, but we like to do about 5/8 to 3/4 of an inch we leave on our fabric to fold over to the back. Some projects may take a little less fabric to fold over to the back, but if you need to trim once we get to that point, then we can trim. So again, just hold your ruler and carefully cut your excess fabric off. Around your Santa. Just ensuring that you're giving an even trim around. We'll go to this other short side here. You can do this with scissors. You do not have to use the rotary cutter. I just prefer the rotary cutter because for me it's super quick. Okay, and that's just all scrap. You can toss that. So now that we have our Santa trimmed to allow enough fabric to go to the back. See how there's plenty to go around. The next step is to use the Aleene's Original Tacky Glue. And we find this to be the tried and true glue to use for this type of project. And it holds the fabric very well to the mat board, and we've never had a problem. And this is definitely our preferred method. We do keep our glue in one of these glass jars, and we keep it with the tip down. This is the Aleene's that is the stand up. So when you stand it up and you store your glue, it's already ready for you at the tip of your glue. And then while we're working, we use these little jars to keep our glue in so that it's ready at all times when we need to get to gluing. Speaking of, that's what we're doing next. So we take our Aleene's Tacky Glue and we do about a 1/2 inch in from the edges. And you just run a very small amount along the edge. Not very much at all. It does not require a lot. And you want to give it a press until it's a little stuck there for just a few seconds. And then you actually want to lift your piece and you want to take a good look right along where your pin is. And you want to make sure that the edge of your project is on the edge of this board. And I like to have mine very straight. Once you have it there, remove your pin and then press your fabric down into the glue, keeping watch of that same line where your pin was, and make sure that it remains there along that edge. And then give it a good press so that it stays. Again, always checking the edge to make sure that this is straight. This is really important with all cross stitch pieces, whether you're using the 14 count Aida, or if you're using a linen, or if you're using any count 16, 18 count Aida, with the merino, all cross stitch fabrics, you want to ensure. I realize that with your linens and your higher count fabrics, you will have a little bit more challenging time to keep that straight there. But again, look at your front and then just keep double checking. You want to make sure those are lined up perfectly there. Okay, move on to the other side. Again, a 1/2 inch in from the edge. You want to leave that open. I'll show you why later when we get to that part. And again, give it a good press down into the glue. Working with your fingers to press. Remove that pin. And you want to make sure that your line is going straight across there. Thank the Lord for my bifocals is all I have to say. I am so thankful for these bifocals. My doctor told me, well, honey, it's time. And I said, are you sure? I can still read. And he put them on and he said, now tell me how well you can read. And I said, oh, much better. So it was time. And then my cross stitching became much easier, and so did my hand quilting, and bow making became much easier for me after I got those. So again, making sure you have your straight line across here. So what I do now is make sure that I have my holes where I need that. So I will actually count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right there on the edge. Perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right there on the edge. Totally perfect. So he is nice and straight from side to side. He's upside down for y'all too. Sorry about that. There he is. Now, these corners, I know, are so tricky. However, we have a trick that we use in order to get these not lumpy and so that you get a precise corner. Now, this is the reason why we leave the 1/2 inch with no glue as you're gluing your first side. We take our scissors and we use Fisker's scissors for this, and we use these larger blade, and we also have the smaller blade. But for this purpose, I really like these larger blades. And you're going to trim off a small triangle from about 1/4 of an inch in from the edge of your fabric. You'll go from there and you'll trim right up onto this board. I would like to go a little bit in here, right there. That eliminates some of the bulk that happens so frequently on these corners. And you just go about this to every corner. See? Eliminating the bulk. I also get rid of these pesky threads that come up off the fabric too. So again, on this side, this is why I like the longer blade, because then I can reach further up onto the board. Taking a little more off there. As you go, you just visualize that. See? Last one. Get yourself there. Go a little bit more there. And get that bulk off of there, okay? Any little threads, I just take my little Fiskars and I get those off of there. They're going to happen. Those little threads are going to happen, and you just cut them off. So now we're ready for the sides. Again, with your glue, you want to put a dab of glue there on that side where you left your 1/2 inch, and a dab of glue on this side where you left your 1/2 inch. Just a little bit. Don't go overboard. And then you actually want to take a dab of glue here in the corner. Okay? Do the other side. Just a dab. Now, with that, you want to pull on your fabric and move it up onto the board. And smooth it out as you go along, creating this slant here at the edge. And pressing down, because remember you put that little dab of glue here, So you want to press this down, and you want to use your fingers and move your fabric up onto the board. That's eliminating your bulk here at the corner. Now, you say, what about my edging? Again, go back and check your edging. Make sure that your holes are still remaining straight, because you don't want to have pulled this fabric and then pulled your cross stitch design too far, and then your Santa's crooked. Let's go over that again on this side. Again, take your fabric up onto the board so that you have this nice slant here on the edge, and you want to smooth out what you've brought up onto the board and press it down into that little bit of glue there. Again, checking your edge, making sure that your line is still straight. Okay, and adjust as needed. This takes time. You don't want to rush this. You want these corners to be crisp and precise. Okay? There you go. Adjust as necessary. So now you can see from the front, these are slightly slanted in, and you've eliminated some of that bulk off the back so that when we go to fold it over and glue the ends, magic happens. And then there's no bulk. But it does take time. You have to work with it. Again, let's go over this. A little bit of glue there. A dab of glue there. Again on this side. Give yourself a little space there. A little bit of glue there. I kind of smudge mine around with the tip. And a little bit of glue there in the end. And again, pull your fabric up onto the board. Pressing down. And move that fabric up on there. Again, checking your line here on the edge. Take the time. Okay? Last side, we are pulling that fabric up onto the board. Pressing. Smoothing that out. And again, checking. Sometimes you may have to maneuver your fabric a little bit to make sure that your line is staying straight on that edge. So now you've got your top and bottom all with the slant ready to be glued. Let me just get some of the glue off of my fingertips here real quick. We keep a wet washcloth over to the side so that we can proceed with the next step. Again, with the tacky, just enough, and you use the tip to smooth it around on your edging. And pull your end taut there. And again, check where your pin is. Check your pin. You want to make sure that you're pulling your edge right there where your pin is. Take that out. Adjust as needed. And now on the back, you want to make sure that you don't have any lumps happening in the corners. We don't want any lumpies happening in the corners. I give the bottom a pull there so I can make sure that we are not having a lump. If you have a lump, you go back in, you adjust, and press back down. And keep your line there across the top. Do you see? You have to take the time in order to make it right. Okay. And then we're going to add the glue down here on this side. Just enough. Use your fingernail there if you have to, or your finger. Pull that over. Got your pin there showing. We're going to check that. Make sure that is lined up there. And if you have to adjust, you just lift it and adjust. So that you make sure that your line is across that board. Got a little lumpy there. So you want to go back in and adjust. Okay, just pull your fabric down on the back of the board and make sure that it's straight. I feel like this side is a little off. Do you see that? Okay. Double checking myself here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Row 9 up there on the top. Row 9 down here on the bottom. Great. Great job, everybody. If you're following along, just get some of your fuzz off of there. Never use a lint roller to get your fuzz off. Never ever. Ask us how we know. Now, check your back. Again, do you see those little threads? Get your glue back where it belongs. Get your threads off of here. And if you have a little bit loose like that, take a little dab. Get that pressed down real good. Okay. There. You want to put a little bit more under there too. That little bit. Just to make sure those are glued down. Because as you're working with it, it can loosen. That one's glued. That one's glued. Okay. Great. Just get those threads. That one was loose. Let's get these. All right. Now we've got our front. Front is done. we put it in a press. We put it actually underneath 2 6-packs of ball glass jars. That's what we found works best. They're heavy enough and strong enough to press this down. So we're going to get that under the press and move to the back. We've got another board here for the back. 3 3/8 by 4 1/8 for the back. This is the back. Covered with fabric. No Warm and Natural on the back. You can, and we have, but for these particular ornaments, we have decided not to do the Warm and Natural on the back. These are small. We like it without. That's what we suggest. This is our beautiful tree fabric that we're working with. And you want to leave, again, that for these boards without the Warm and Natural, I suggest leaving about the 1/2 inch mark around when you are trimming off a piece of your fabric to put on your backer. So again, I've already got some cut out from here, holding the ruler here with our OFA cutter. And then across this way. Let's make sure that's even there. Yep. Okay. Get that little tiddlywink there. There we go. Okay. Easy so far, right? No stress. This is good. So you've got your back piece. You've got your fabric piece. You are good to go to start gluing. Let's wipe our fingertips off again here real quick. Again, just a very small amount. If you get it over that 1/2 inch, just use your finger, wipe that off. And always make sure you're working with the front of the board, the white part of the board where your fabric is. You don't want to accidentally have this gray Canson logo showing through on your project. And again, just a small amount of glue on the ends. Fold that up. Pull it tight. Hold it down there. And you want to make sure that that's tight on your board. You don't want it to be loosey-goosey. You want to make sure it's real tight. I do that by running my thumbs up, and if I have any extra that shows up after I run my thumbs up the board, then I know I need to pull a little bit more. Now, same scenario. Remember our little corners that we cut? We're doing the same thing. We're snipping little pieces about a 1/4 inch, depending on your project. I might not be able to get that little piece right there. Just use my little scissors here. A lot of strings there. Okay. And on this side, see? And again on this side. and proceed. I always try to get all those little fibers that sneak up there off. Proceed with little bits of glue in your corners again, and again here and here up on that fabric. Pulling your fabric onto the board, making sure that you smooth out those lumps. And you want to create the corner here. Press down where you have that glue. And again, on this side, press down. If it doesn't go, lift it and place it again, pressing down into the glue to create that corner. Gluing here again. Little bits. You do not need a lot. You need enough, but you don't need too much. And again, smoothing that fabric in. You can leave a comment below. Let me know, let all of us know here at One Nano Two Girls, if you're making any Christmas ornaments this year. Do you make them every year? Did you just start making them? Do you make them for your family, or do you hang them on your tree? Or do you make a lot? Maybe for gifts and hanging on your tree. I would love to know. We would love to read those comments. Let us know about your ornaments. Or maybe you've never made an ornament and you are learning for the first time. We hope we can help you create beautiful ones. Again, just wiping the glue off my fingertips. Proceeding here with the other sides. A little bit along that edge. Okay? And just smooth it out with the tip. Again, a little bit. Get close to the edge. And fold and pull. Making sure that your corner there is pulled up so that that crease and pleat that you have there, not pleat, the crease that you have from making that edging is real tight. Okay, look at that nice crisp edging there. And I think I want to pull this just a little bit tighter right here. I noticed when I flipped that over just now. Put a little more glue under there just to hold where I pulled. I like that real tight there. Let me get a little bit more right there. Again, pull your piece of fabric over to the back, pulling tight, tight, tight on there. I don't want it to be loose. I want it to look like this on the back. And just press down till it's staying. And again, check yourself here. Make sure that you're tight. It's looking really good. Very nice and tight. Okay. Grab your little scissors. And trim off. Whoop! Getting a little rowdy there. I throw my threads on the floor and then I vacuum later. because why not? Now, check this out. Front and back. Ready to rock and roll. Okay? Next thing, the hanger. Beautiful grosgrain ribbon is sandwiched in between the two pieces. Okay? We use beautiful grosgrain ribbon from Hobby Lobby. And make the hanger. Alrighty, our Hobby Lobby ribbon, it's from the Ribbon Boutique. And it is item number 1924679, and the color is wine. Beautiful wine ribbon here. We felt it was the best match for the 221. There's just a little fuzzy on his pants. Let's get that off of there. For the hanger, 8 inches of ribbon. That's it. Just 8. That's all you need for the beautiful hanger. You take the back of the board. Make sure that you've got it right side up. Make sure that you've got everything the way it's supposed to be going. Flip this over. Now we work on these awesome grid mats. These are Olfa rotary mats, and ours is well loved. We have many, but they're all very well loved. And you want to take your hanger ribbon here and place it about, you can see, about 3/16 of an inch apart to 1/4 inch. You want to take your glue, put some glue up here, and get your ribbon down. So as you can see, this is about 2.5 inches of the hanger showing. So I need to bring that down just a little bit. And we take the ribbon with the right side up and we lay it down here, loop it over so that it's all the right side is facing out. And then press it down into the glue. And there you have your hanger. And you've got your hanger glued here. For larger ornaments, you would want a larger loop at the end, and you may need to leave a slightly larger space there, but you just want to make sure that your loop is going to accommodate the size of your ornament as well as going over your tree branch. This will perfectly fit over a tree branch of any nature and not cause any troubles. Now we're going to glue the front to the back, and we do again with the Aleene's tacky glue, and we go along the edging here. Get the edging good. And dot in the middle. You want some glue in the middle there. And we take just a cheapo, this is a Crayola one, but just a cheapo paintbrush, and I like the flat one, but any kind can work. Smooth your glue out. Again, reducing any lumpiness. Smooth the glue. I smooth it around in the middle. Done. Ready to be glued. If you see a little bit here on the edging, go back with your tip, just like so, and fill that in. A little bit extra dab in each of the corner. See that nice little dab there? That's all you need. Get those little dabs in the corners. They help secure the corner. If you're going to have a problem, it's going to be at the corner. So we're not having any problems because we're doing really good. Go through here. Make sure that you've got some glue here along your edgings. Again, a little bit over here. Okay. Make sure he's right side up. Get any glue off your fingertips. And line up your two together. Any glue that's coming out, grab that right away with your finger. Get that off of there. We use these wooden skewers. You can buy a ton of them up at the Walmart, honestly. And they come in a package. They're for cooking, but look how nice that works to clean that out of the edging there. See? You want some of that glue there. But if it's coming over like that, that glue is not welcome there. Get that out of there. He's just getting a little jiggy there. Get him out of there too. See that? Just get that out of there. Press. Lay it down. Press it good. If you have arthritis or some elbow issues, just press as good as you can. And again, you want to double check yourself. Make sure that you've got yourself lined up here around the edge and press. Now, just use something heavy or ball jars to keep it pressed. To keep the edges nice, we use these little clips from Clover, and they're quilting clips, but I tell you, they work really well for this purpose. Just, if you have the old-fashioned clothesline clips, you can use those as well. And just paying close attention to the corners. And if you notice, I'm putting the flat side of the clip on the back side because we're laying that down and we want to make sure that stays flat. We don't want this bumpy part down on the bottom because it could lift up a portion of your project under your heavy press. And get that tight around there. Get your clips. Okay, now he's going to the press. We call it going to the press. Sit your heaviness, your heavy stuff on him and let your project sit for about an hour or so. You want that glue to dry, and you want it to dry under something heavy so that it's solid, flat, and stays forever. Okay? Just like these. These guys went in the press too. Now, we're going to be making the bow, and the custom trim is with the Kreinik Custom Quarter. This is a beautiful thing. Right here, this wonderful tool makes the best trim, and you will see it on a lot of our projects. A lot of our finishing includes the beautiful custom trim. Lots of DMC floss out there to make your trim out of. And we'll have a separate video to show you how this works. It's like a mini fishing pole. It's got the hook here and the winder. It's great. We will have a separate video to show you how to make your own cording. And we do sell the Kreinik custom quarter in our shop on Etsy. 1 Nana, 2 girls on Etsy. If you can't find it, let us know. There will be a link below. So you can click on that link and it'll take you right to the shop. Check out some beautiful projects. And we have our bow. You can use any bow or a button or a gem to put up here by your hanger. And we have our cording here ready for the edging. And again, made with the Kreinik custom quarter, this beautiful cording matching the Santa jacket. I'll show the bow making process that I use in the next video. And I'll also show how to make the cording in a separate video as well. Those will both be separate videos. So we'll go over bows, single and double, and we'll go over how to make cording. So moving on with our Santa. You have your Santa out of the press and remove the clips. That's the fun part. Just toss them aside. Get all the clips off. Smooth out your clips where they indented your fabric. And a little trick, 1 small quick burst of the iron steam gets those right out. Just a whoosh, gets it right out. I'll do that when we're all done. We attach the bow after the cording is on. So you can see this is perfect size. You don't want your bow to be too big. You don't want it to be too small. You want it to be just right. And we take our cording and we start from the top. And we go in front of the hanger on these ornaments. Some projects may require you to go behind the hanger, but this particular project calls for it to be in front of the hanger. So you get some pins, and we can use a variety of kinds. If I can get this lid open, these are drits, these little silver pins. They have to be stainless steel pins. So we use these are stainless steel drits, and glass head pins. You can buy them at Hobby Lobby in the stainless steel. And that's to hold the cording on as we go along. The glue that we use for our cording, Turbo Tacky Glue. I don't know if it comes in a bigger container. This is a 2 ounce. I'm not sure if this particular one comes bigger. We use it because it has the tip. See that? Perfect size tip. You do snip it off when you get it. And it's the perfect size tip to go along the edging of projects with the glue and the cording. And because I'm right-handed, I always work from this direction so that when I'm gluing, I don't get anything in I don't get my hand in anything. Now, a little trick of the trade. You don't want to start gluing here in the middle and glue the end down, and I'll show you that when we get to that point. You need this end loose. So you want to start over here about 5/8 of an inch over from the center of your project. And you can see this glue is ready because we keep it upside down. And you don't need much. And you just go along. And if your glue happens to get a little crazy, you take your skewer again and you can maneuver your glue. If you get a large lump, you just use the skewer to maneuver it where you need it. But mostly that glue, this is super. And you want to get clear down to the end, and you want to go around the corner about 1/2 inch. Just about to there. Okay? Smooth it out if you need to. Take your cording, and you want the rounded end of your cording to be here in the middle. And you place your cording. There's a little fuzzy. We'll get that after it's glued. Place your cording in the glue and lightly press down, making sure that it's not too far back and not too far forward. Okay? You want it to be right in between. That fuzzy's driving me nuts. You want it to be right in between there. And then you want to take your pins and you want to pin right into the edging to hold your cording on. So you want to just press your pin. Got two there at once. Press your pin into the project through the cording to hold it there. Okay? Once you get to the corner, you want to not pull the cording tight. You want to have loose fingers here. You want to actually crisp. You want to make a crisp corner. You don't want to pull your cording around the edging because it tends to roll toward the back of your project, and then your cording actually has disappeared if you go yanking that cording. We have plenty. There's no need to pull it tight. So get around the corner there, and you can see how crisp that is. And you place another pin right up here at the edge. Okay? And I like to hold my cording back here between these two fingers while I'm gluing. I was a bad girl and didn't have my glue in my glass jar, but no worries. We will continue on down the edge with a very thin bead of glue. And you can see it's a little bit spotty right here. And get down to the end. You don't want to forget to go around that next corner. You want that next corner to be ready for you when you get there. Okay? And again, if you have any part that you need to get your glue smoothed out, use your skewer and smooth it out. Take your cording, being sure you don't drag your cording in the glue, and gently lay it down along the edge. Okay, don't pull it. You just want to lay it. Tap it with your finger so it's getting down into the glue. And then take a look. Make sure you're not too far forward or too far back. And place your pins. Just gives it that extra security to hold it there as you're moving along your project. And pin all along there. Keeping in mind, you've got your little piece there around the edge. Again, do not pull. You want to create a nice crisp edge. And do you see that little bit of glue that was trying to get there? Create that nice crisp corner. Press down with your fingers to create that. Place your pin. Again, I hold the cording back. I like to wipe the tip of the glue bottle off frequently. It likes to get glue down there on itself. Just go along. Some days you'll have the glue is cooperating completely and you'll get a nice, perfect bead of glue. Other days, you'll need your skewer. Place your cording down. Oh, almost forgot. See, you don't want to forget that next corner. Place your trim, your cording. Give it a tap. Now you have pins on the upper side, so you can't sit this side down. You can't sit it down right now. And make sure it's straight. Give it a press. Push your pins. You can see, you do not push the pins in all the way. You just push them in to hold it there. You'll feel when you push the pins in, you'll feel it grab on to the insides and you'll know it's secure. Okay? Don't forget about your corner over here. Don't forget the process. You don't want to pull. You want to have the perfect amount there around the edge, around the corner. Place your pin. If you do have a little smidgen of glue there, you take your skewer and you just get it off of there. Okay? Moving right along here. Take your glue. And you can see it was giving me a fit. Get little bits there. Move it along where you need it with your skewer. Okay. And then you want to come around this corner. Okay, good, 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 good. All right. Lay your trim on. Same process, tap it down, Make sure that you've got it good front to back. It's good to secure that corner as you're doing the side right before the corner. So get your side down, secure that next corner down there, because it really does help when you're going down the next side. You've already got that done and taken care of. You're not pulling on your cording, causing it to be too thin around the corners. Now, you want to again create that by pressing with your fingers onto the corner. And place your pin. If you get a little glue back here, not a problem. Aleene's is forgiving. Just get that off. If you need to use your fingernail too to get in there, that's okay too. And that's actually great. You've come back around to the beginning. And remember, we did not glue here. And this is why we're going to finish up by putting this side, your tail end, down onto it. And then just placing this piece on top of here so you know where you're going to clip this. And we have a trick for that. And you've come around to this point. You want to grab your regular Aleene's and grab your cording right where they're going to meet. So right here, you want to be pretty exact from where your beginning was to where your end is. You don't want to overlap these. It will cause a lump, and then your bow won't sit down right. So about right where that is, you want to grab the cording, and then you want to take your Aleene's and you want to keep your cording rounded. You want to dab a little bit of glue around your cording. And you're doing this to secure the threads together. And you're just maneuvering the glue around. I'd like a little more there, because you don't want your threads to be coming apart after you cut your cording. Okay, so you want it to be, you can see where my glue is and you can see where the other end is, and we're going to cut right there with scissors after you've got the glue on. Don't cut your cording before you've placed this glue, because your threads will, your cording will fray apart. So this is the trick that we've come up with, and it's never failed us. I'm going to take these couple pins out right here so they're not in my way. So just getting that hanger out of the way so you can see. And I'm going to turn it around toward me here. And you want to cut right there where your other cording is. Don't cut your hanger. Okay? See how we're going to cut right there? I want it to be perfect here. Okay? Use really good scissors for this. You don't want to use some scissors that aren't going to stay real well. So here I'm going to place a little bit more glue on the tips, okay? Dab that in. You're going to save this for your next project. You don't want to waste this stuff. Look how beautiful it is. Let's not waste that. That is enough for another ornament. Isn't that great? And make sure that your end here, you want to, let's wipe that tip off. You want to just put a little bit, just a little bit. Dab it in. Okay? You want that to be secure. Now, we're going to move this one out of the way, and we're going to hold this one up here and hold your hanger back here. We're going to run the glue along here. All the way across. Okay, get your glue there all the way across. And you're placing this cut side down first into that glue, making sure it's looking good. I want to grab that little bit that went overboard there, get that off, and you're taking this original beginning piece and you're placing it down with the other piece. Let me take these pins out real quick. You're placing the two together. You want them to butt up against each other. Okay? You want it to still look like it's one continuous piece of cording. You do not want to overlap it. You want them to butt together. And make sure that you have it all secure up there. Take out your pins. All along the edging. You don't have to throw your pins away. They're good, still good to use. And you've got your cording. The next step is adding the bow. And it's super easy to add the bow. You can see here, you just take a little bit of the turbo, because you want the bow to dry a little quicker. You take a little bit of the turbo on the back of your bow, about that much. Can you all see that? And place your bow here at the top, centered at the top with your cording, with your hanger. Make sure you've got it straight up there, just like these. See? Okay. And you have a beautiful finished ornament. You can tap your bows here like that. I always do that. All done. Thank you so much for watching our tutorial. We hope that you learned about making a flat finished ornament, and we hope you enjoyed yourself. And if you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to us. Give us a note below, send us a message, reach out to us on Facebook. we would be more than happy to hear from you and answer any questions that you have about the process. We look forward to sharing more tutorials with you in the future, and we can't wait to have some more fun with you next time. Enjoy your day, and thanks again for joining in. Bye.